Good morning, everybody. Matt Moda here to give you my favorite MLB home run predictions for today. We're talking Wednesday, August 13th. The Dong Report is back in your life. I'm going to have 9 players on Dong Watch for today's MLB betting slate. I really like the slate today, so I'll give you my 3 favorites, and then I'll give you all 9, however you want to play it. Unfortunately, I really liked the slate yesterday, and we got completely burned. Did not get a single one of these players to hit a home run. Loaded up on the Yankees. Well, not loaded up. Took 2 players on the Yankees. It was basically everybody but those 2. Not actually, but Juan Soto, a lot of players in the Mets hit a home run. He did not. It was just a pretty brutal day overall. Riley Green came close twice. These 2 White Sox guys didn't really do much, so nothing really to complain about there. And neither really did anybody in this game as well. I think this game had maybe 1 home run hit, something like that. So all in all, just a rough day. We had a decent day Sunday. We had a good day on Monday, but unfortunately that was just the way things went yesterday. Up over 2 units on the year. I'll take it. Not amazing, but that's fine. Up just below 2% ROI on the year as well. That's the same thing, just total units profited versus ROI. And then since we started spreading the board, taking out yesterday, we started to have a lot more success, which is why you see this 1 unit, profited 1 unit number be so much higher, just because instead of risking 0.15, or I had been doing 0.1 a lot, imagine risking 10 times that. And you kind of understand why that number is the way it is. Regardless, another incredibly juicy slate for home runs today. I mean, just fantastic weather across the board. Hopefully, we could have more success than we had yesterday. I don't have a play in every single one of these games in the green, but I have a play in most of them. Then I have 1 play in a dome. Which is not one of the best weather games, but it's also, it's this one right here. It's at the Texas home stadium. But I am pretty confident in the plays that we have for today. Ballpark Pal likes a lot of these games as well. They like the Mets one a lot. They like they have the Yankees one more so neutral, but the stadium at Yankee Stadium is very good. They really like the Orioles game. They decently like the Reds one. I don't have anything there. But yeah, mostly agreement across the board. They like the White Sox, as does Ballpark Pal. So should be a good day for home runs. Granted, yesterday should have as well, and it wasn't. Appreciate those of you watching. If you could like the video, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And let's get into it. So in terms of my 3 favorites, Giancarlo Stanton is one of them. And then I'm also going back to Trent Grisham. So my first 2 plays are going to be players on the Yankees. The price for Grisham is $320 at Bet365, and the price for Stanton is $275 at Bet365. Couple things here. The reason we're going with Stanton, I know we just hit a home run yesterday. This is exactly what we're chasing. We're chasing 114 miles an hour off the bat. We're chasing 113.9 miles an hour off the bat. And we're chasing 110.8 miles per hour off the bat. 3 hits above 110 miles an hour. All 3 of them somewhat hit in the air. I mean, one of them traveled 370 feet at a 14-degree launch angle. This was like 2 degrees higher. This is a home run. But that is an incredibly impressive day at the plate for Giancarlo Stanton, who's been on a pretty good roll over the last week, over the last 2 weeks. And then Trent Grisham only had the 1 hard hit, but at least it was 100 miles an hour off the bat, so that's fine. Trent Grisham has generally been hitting pretty well recently. 10 hard hits, 3 barrels over the last week are healthy numbers. I love this fly ball rate and pull rate at 40 and 45%. So he's putting the ball in the air and he's pulling it. That's fantastic. You look at the last 2 weeks, 7 barrels and 21 hard hits for him is pretty good. That is a very, very good number. I talk about this all the time, but Yankee Stadium is where you want to target mostly left-handed bats. Obviously, I am also taking a righty in Stanton, but the short right field porch is going to help for a lefty pull hitter like Trent Grisham, who does a good job putting the ball in the air and pulling it. And at right field at Yankee Stadium, it's perfect for that. The pitching matchup, Joe Ryan is on the mound for the Twins. He's not terrible. He's also really not anybody that I'm scared of. On the year, he's allowed a home run every 32 at-bats, that's a pretty good number. He's worse against lefties than he is against righties, so that is a favor of Trent Grisham. You see his numbers against righties are decent across the board, and then they're decently worse against lefties. I love high barrel rate, high hard hit rate, high fly ball rate. It's going to help Trent Grisham. You look at him over the last 6 weeks, and he's been a little bit worse. Home run every 32 at-bats against righties. He hasn't given up a home run to a righty, so he's definitely been better against righties, but he has struggled more against lefties. So from a matchup perspective, it's much, much better for Trent Grisham. But Giancarlo Stanton, when he goes on a roll, we know what the type of hitter he can be, and these type of EV logs is just insane. So I feel good about going both of them, and I actually did have my favorite as Stanton over Grisham just because of the way that he's been hitting. So that's plays number 1 and 2. Next up, the second of my 3 favorites, and I actually only have 3 favorites today, is Corbin Carroll to hit a home run. He has been fantastic recently. A stinky price on him as well at plus 280. That's the price, plus 280 odds at FanDuel. He actually is going up against his former teammate Merrill Kelly, so that's going to be fun. Nice revenge matchup there. And Merrill Kelly, home run allowed to lefties every 22 at-bats is not terrible, but none of these that's also definitely not good. I mean, we want that number to be under 20, but anything under 25 is fine. Barrel rate is okay. Hard hit rate's pretty high. Fly ball rate's okay. And then you look at him, how he's done recently. So we look at the last 6 weeks, and we see that he's been much, much worse. Home run every basically 13 and a half at-bats is terrible. All these numbers across the board are really, really, really bad. Just exactly what you look for from a hitter's perspective. And Corbin Carroll's been fantastic. I think the Diamondbacks season has just gone in a crater. But Carroll, 20 hard hits, 9 barrels in the last 14 days is fantastic. The last week, 12 hard hits, 6 barrels is fantastic. Like, you compare that league-wide, and that is the tied for the most barrels in the MLB over the last week. So obviously he's been hitting incredibly well. Fly ball rate above 60%, pull rate at 55% is absolutely fantastic. And he hadn't hit a home run in a couple days in a row, and he didn't hit one yesterday, but he still had a really good day at the plate. You look at him, he had a 400-foot flyout, which is brutal. And then his other hard hit was not hit hard enough, but I do like the fact that he still got a pretty good launch angle on it. So really good numbers for for Corbin Carroll, which is why I like going with him today. That is technically play number 3 and the second of my favorites. Next up, I have 2 plays on the Tigers. I'm going back to Riley Green, and I'm also taking Spencer Torkelson. So I'm taking both of them to hit home runs. Riley Green has been frustrating because I've gone with him 2 days in a row, and he's yet to come through any of those days. But you look at what he did yesterday. I mentioned he had 2 long flyouts. He had a 389-foot flyout and a 382-foot flyout. That was 107 off the bat and 104. Now, I don't know how this one doesn't clear a fence. 105 basically miles per hour off the bat, 25-degree launch angle. That's picture perfect. That's exactly what you look for a home run. Just couldn't quite make it. And then Sosa, who we also went with, had a 400-foot flyout. So that's pretty brutal that none of those guys came through, but that's also dong life. That happens. But Green has been on a fantastic run recently. He had an awesome day on Sunday and Monday, and then yesterday. Hit a home run Sunday, not the last 2 days, but I feel good about him. Torque didn't do anything yesterday, no hard hits, but that's fine because you look at Torque and how he has been hitting recently, and it's been pretty good. 3 barrels, 9 hard hits over the last week, and then over the last 2 weeks, 4 barrels and 14 hard hits is average. So it's really been better the last week. But I like the matchup for both of these guys. Shane Smith is pitching for the White Sox, who has been getting annihilated recently. Over his last 6 weeks, home run every 12 at-bats is horrific. The hard hit rate above 50%. Fly ball and line drive rate 65% is terrible. The barrel rate's honestly lower than what you would expect, but all these numbers are incredibly bad. Against lefties, it's worse. Just red across the board. Against righties, it's better. It's still not anything I'm scared of. And then you look at the entire year against righties. The home runs haven't quite been there, but the hard hit rate is pretty high. The line drive plus fly ball rate is not terrible. So it's a better matchup for Riley Green, who's the third of my 3 favorites, but I also like going with Torque as well. I mean, Ballpark Pal likes the matchup for Torque. The price on them is Torque is actually $410 at Fanatics. That's not pulling. Let me refresh this. Maybe we'll be able to get better. We'll be able to get more odds here. No. So Torque is $410 at Fanatics, and Riley Green is $390 at FanDuel. So not as good as what you see on the screen here. $390 at FanDuel. Those of you asking why I'm not going with the White Sox guys, we don't know who's pitching. Kiter Montero is what Ballpark Pal says. Another site says Troy Melton. So I'm just holding off on the White Sox until I know who's pitching. But I do like these 2 players on the Tigers. Next up, I have 3 players in the Rays game once again. Junior Caminero, Tyler Soderbaum, and Brandon Lau, taking all three of them to hit home runs. The price on them, Lau is at $375 at Bet365. Soderbaum is at $475 at Bet365, and Ballpark Pal likes him a lot. And then Caminero is $300 at Bet365. Now, I got burned in this game yesterday. I went 3 for 3 on this game on Monday, so I'll take 3 for 6 over the last 2 days. Not a great day yesterday, obviously. Soderbaum did have the 2 hard hits, and they were hit. One of them was hit pretty hard, 102 miles an hour off the bat. The other one wasn't. It was a double, but it was only 96. Caminero had 2 hard hits, and one of them was almost 100. But he's been on fire recently. The numbers for Caminero have been fantastic. And Lau did not have a good day yesterday, but it was a lefty pitcher for the Athletics who ended up pitching a gem. And he had been really good prior to that. So I feel okay about going with Lau. So the 2 Rays guys, Caminero and Lau, are going up against JT Jin, who is definitely somebody that you want to target for home run props. As you can see on the year, he's allowed a home run every basically 17 at-bats. He's been worse against lefties, every 12 at-bats against left-handed hitters with horrific numbers across the board. Even against righties, it's nothing to be scared of. I mean, the numbers are better, but home run every 23 at-bats is still not good. The hard hit rate is really, really high. He's generally does a good job keeping the ball down because he's a sinker slider thrower, but it's still, obviously the home runs are still there. You look at him over the last 6 weeks, he's definitely been better. Home run every 25 at-bats to righties and every 14 to lefties, so he still stinks against lefties. But overall, a home run every 19 at-bats is nothing to be scared of. So the 2 Rays guys I like a lot. And then for Soderbaum, I didn't want to totally load up on the Athletics because the pitcher they're going up against is actually pretty good. Drew Rasmussen's given up 1 home run over the last 6 weeks. Now, he's not going to pitch more than 4 or 5 innings, so they won't get him for the full game. But he's definitely good. I'm not going to say anything bad about Drew. It's really just backing Soderbaum, who's been hitting really well recently. We know he had the 2 hard hits yesterday. Bangaliers has also been fantastic, but I wanted to go with Soderbaum, who's been hitting a little bit better recently. I like the 13 hard hits over the last 7 days is really, really good. He's just been smoking the baseball. 2 barrels is acceptable. Now, obviously, the more barrels for Bangaliers and for Rooker, but a lot more hard hits for Soderbaum. So if you want to go with Bangaliers, I don't blame you. The odds on him, 375 isn't terrible, but I liked it better just going with Soderbaum. Also, a trust in Ballpark Pal play as well. Them really liking him, getting it at 475 when they have him at 375, basically. And then my last play, give me Big Meat Pete Alonso. He did hit 2 home runs yesterday, which I understand is going to scare some people off, but he did hit 2 home runs yesterday, so clearly he'd been hitting the baseball well. He had 4 total hard hits yesterday. That's impressive. He had the home run 112.8 to be exact. 109.2 was the next one. And then he also had another flyout, 101.3. And then his last one was a double, 98.2. So really, really, really good day at the plate for Pete Alonso. And the guys going up against Cookie Carrasco, who is a home run machine. You look at him he's only made 2 starts as a member of the Braves, but home run every 25 at-bats. And you look at him on the entire year, which included his starts at the beginning of the year with the Yankees, home run every 20 at-bats, every 15 to righties with horrific numbers across the board. So I just want to ride Big Meat Pete when he's in a run like this. Plus 300 odds is what we're getting him at. And it's not like it was just yesterday for Pete Alonso. You look at him, 10 hard hits over the last week, and this doesn't include yesterday. So it hasn't updated for yesterday's results, because like if you look into his game log and look into his StatCast, it only shows this does include yesterday. For whatever reason, they don't have him marked down for a barrel, despite the fact they hit the crap out of the baseball. So I'm not sure what the numbers are there, but 2 home runs, 1 double, 4 hits that were all 98 miles an hour and above. I don't know how he gets tracked for 0 barrels there, but regardless, really good numbers for Pete. And that's all we got. So hopefully the 9 today goes better than the 10 yesterday. Riley Green, Spencer Torkelson, Tyler Soderbaum, Brandon Lau, Giancarlo Stanton, Trent Grisham, Pete Alonso, Corbin Carroll, and Junior Caminero. My 3 favorites were Corbin Carroll, Giancarlo Stanton, and Riley Green. Appreciate everybody for watching. Make sure to like the video, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. Check out Ballpark Pal. Check out the link in the description of the video for my Tails account as well, which is where I send everything out. Thank you again, everybody, for watching, and have a good one.